given to us is the ignorance is the cause of all sufferings. So basically, this topic is actually taken from Buddhism. I was searching on Google, and there I found that a lot of uh, Buddhist people, like one of the names is Dalai Lama, who was trying to elaborate it. Dalai Lama, he was trying to elaborate it. So basically, he was trying to say, like, basically what the sufferings is actually, it's basically for all of the delusions and the or rather we call it Maya. So basically, this is what, like, if you are giving given a life, you are fully covered up with the materialistic life, materialistic things. You can only expect for two things, that is pleasant and unpleasant. Now when you do not get the pleasant things, or rather when you get the unpleasant things, you think it is a suffering for you, and that is what the suicides or depressions come into the picture. Now the fact is, why people think that this is only one life. Now basically, we do not have the clear understanding because we are blind. We can see the whatever we are see with our naked eyes. That is what we think, that this is the limitation. But apart from that, there are a lot of things which is happening nowadays. I mean, it's going forever actually. So, like, for example, reincarnation. Now everybody thinks that, nowadays people have started believing that there are many lives, and that is called reincarnation. We do not end up in one life, and the fact is that is what our soul is. It cannot be destroyed, immortal. Whereas our body, whenever we have taken the soul, like the soul needs to take a body. That is what the body is, and this body is that body will decay. So basically, you will get the pains and all, people are trying to say, like, you will suffer fever, all of the things. Like, it happens for each and everything in this world. Say for example, you are sitting on a chair. One day, whenever you are sitting on the chair, one day it will decay. Let's say for example, it can one day break. But the fact is, in your life, in your body, the energy or the soul will transmit from one body to another body. And that is what we need to understand. That is what the knowledge is, that it is not, it is in the soul is it cannot be destructible. It is imperishable. The soul is imperishable, and that lack of knowledge gives us the problem. And whatever we always think that I, basically we have to know what is I. This is what the knowledge should be, that I, basically, generally considered about the what called me, that means this is my body. But the fact is, we consider that my body is as I. So, and whatever we think that is that we need to get those things, whatever we are seeing in this particular world, we have to achieve this one, we have to achieve this too. But the fact is, this is not the end, this is not the way we need to finish our life. But the fact is, it will go on. Now, we have come to know, like, say for example, there are many lives. Now, also the fact of karma is also working
How
here.
many lives? There are many lives now. Now, how many lives?
So that cannot be answered.
But
That cannot be answered, because
there must be a destination.
of course there must be a destination, because whenever something has been created. Like, I'm just giving you a particular example, that the purpose of the chair is that people will sit on it, right? This is the purpose of life, purpose of chair. Now the fact is, the purpose of life also is there, but we do not know. Say for example, one soul has been created, and the soul is considered you as you. I'm not talking about your body, but I'm considering this soul is as you. Until and unless your soul is not fulfilling that particular aim or particular motto, particular mission, until and unless it is not fulfilling that mission, your soul will reincarnate.
Once it completes its
Once
what will
it's
happen to that soul?
that will get the liberation. That will, because, say for example, that let's
Soul is
take
already
let's
liberate.
take
No.
let's take it as the universe. We are the part of universe. We are not created by universe, we are the part of universe. So whenever the purpose is done, then the soul will convert into the or rather transmitted into the universe. So that is
get out of the circle of birth and death.
exactly, sir. At that point in time, it will only do that. But before that, it will go on and on. That's why you will see,
The
sir.
soul may come back as a bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, the person, the soul has no purpose here. But the soul comes down here in the human body just to rescue the other humans. So that is then the soul comes back as a teacher only. Not for gathering any new experience because he's enlightened. But he comes back in order to rescue the other suffering masses.
So then, whenever we are getting reincarnated times and times, that means this soul also has the capacity to to enlighten somebody.
No, you have to, of course, be enlightened here on earth in the physical body. Once you are enlightened, you go out of the cycle of births and deaths. And at that time, you may volunteer to come back again. Why? In order to rescue other people, as Jesus came back to rescue us. The Buddha came back. So this way, the great avatars come back repeatedly, but they don't have any experience. They don't need any experience of their own. They are already enlightened, but they come here for you and for me as volunteers.
Okay.
So that's it. Now they are not, of course, caught in the environment of pain or suffering. They may suffer. You will see their body is suffering, but in fact they don't feel it. Internally,
Yes.
they don't feel it. The body is suffering, all right. Like it is said in modern science also, to some extent, researches that after, say, a person has died in an accident, a motor biker has suddenly collided with another vehicle and has died on the spot. But after his death, a fraction after his death, he finds from a different level that his body is writhing in pain. But at that time, he is not experiencing that. That is the function of the body. Because the nervous system is there, nervous system will react in a certain way. Like when a goat is immolated, cut off, then you will see the body twitches.
Mhm.
Why? The soul of the goat is not inside at the time. That is the nervous system of the body of that goat. So, in the same way, after you go out, people generally think that when there is a fatal accident, perhaps many people have died, they have died a painful death. But in fact, the death is not painful because immediately at the point of death, they go out. And the bodies die in that manner. And those of us who happen to see this feel that these poor wretched souls have suffered a lot at the time of death. But in fact, God doesn't.
Sir,
Allow you
how
to
the
suffer.
soul comes to know that I have already encountered, or rather, I died, that we have to leave the body?
Not possible. That's where the problem arises. Say, when I die, I'm suffering. Okay, so when I die, after my death, immediately after my death, it is not possible for me to understand that I have died. I will think that I have got all my senses heightened and I can see everything. But I see that my wife, my daughter, they are crying over a particular body. And at that time, I will have a closer look at the body. And when I have a closer look at the body, I see that this body resembles that of mine. One thing you should remember that we have never seen ourselves. I have never seen myself in the three-dimensional form. Never. In a photograph, in a mirror, wherever I have seen always a two-dimensional form. So when I happen to see my own body, three-dimensional body, it becomes a little difficult for me to recognize that this is my body. But after a fraction of a second, when I understand this is my body, I get surprised. How is it possible? By location, I am present there, I am present here. I can see everything. They are crying. My wife, my daughter, they are crying. Then I go to interact with them. I go to draw their attention.
So then, sir, consciousness is an integral part of soul, or it is a part of our body?
Consciousness itself is something. Okay, so that is not, of course, part of anything. It is because of consciousness that everything is happening. Otherwise, nothing would happen. So now, when I see that they are crying, I will try to draw their attention. I will touch their shoulders and say, I'm all right, why are you crying? But I will see that they are not responding. Then I will get a little surprised. You should read the particular passage which was written after the planchet of Rabindranath's soul. Rabindranath's soul came down and Rabindranath's soul gave a very nice description of this when he was asked. That immediately after his death, he saw that he was okay, fine. But many people were present there, many people were crying. He was trying to interact with all the acquainted people, but nobody was responding back. Then he was a little puzzled. Being puzzled, he saw his own body also. Then he thought that if he did not enter that body, it would not be possible for them to understand that he was interacting with them. Then he attempted to get into his own body, but he saw that he failed. It was not possible for him to get into the same body again. And at that time, when he was very much puzzled, there was a kind of foggy atmosphere all around, and he saw, I have forgotten exactly, three or four enlightened persons waiting there. Okay, then they looked at Rabindranath Tagore and told that, poet, you have died. Where are you present here? Come with us. Then Rabindranath Tagore followed them. They went to a certain point where they left Rabindranath Tagore and told that, here you wait, your rescuer will come here. They went there. Rabindranath Tagore felt very sleepy. He lay down there and fell asleep. After some time, how much time he did not know. When he woke up, he saw his father standing there. He then got up and touched the feet of his father. Feet means a supple body feet. And then his father accompanied him from there to a place where he was supposed to stay. And he then told his father that, father, can you meet me afterwards, or can I go to your place when I want? Then he told them, no, that's not possible because I am in Thruvaloka. And Thruvaloka is a very high place. And you have not done that karma. So you cannot rise to that particular level. But if you remember me, if you want to see me, you just remember me, I shall come down. Because his father was at a higher level, so he could come back, but Rabindranath would not be able to go to that particular level. So the soul, actually, we think that there is something very mysterious. Nothing mysterious if you think this way. If you go through these research papers, I have been doing this almost on a daily basis. That's why I've seen that what you are now, Shayan will remain Shayan. Everything will remain, your senses will remain intact, but more heightened. And your thought pattern will remain the same. You will not be able to believe that you have died. When you see that those, your grandfather and others who have died, have come to take you, they will tell you that you are no more in the body. Then you tell the grandpa, you are here.
But sir, again, then I mean, when the grandpa has died, so basically maybe he will face the reincarnation, right?
Then let me tell you that. Now, when there is an accidental death, somebody has died in an accident. Then that those souls are born very fast. They do not spend a long time there. But those who die naturally generally do not come back immediately after that, because they go through a certain course there. And those who die in accidents generally go through a orientation course, a very short orientation course. There is a book also by right at this moment I don't remember the name. I have the book. So that person is saying that after the death of that person in an accident, he wants to come back in a hurry. Why? Because he is ready to die. When you are growing older and you know very well that death is approaching, then you are getting ready internally to die. But a person, say a person is going to a particular tourist spot, then he has his future plans and all this. He is going very enthusiastically. Midway he dies. Then the soul is very impatient there and willing to come back to this earth. So they are born generally very quickly afterwards. And just those who die accidentally have the possibility to some extent of remembering their previous incarnation. So all the cases of reincarnation, you will see this is exactly those who can remember their past incarnation.
Okay,
They are
yeah.
all
Died, yeah,
victims
unnatural
of
death.
accidents. Okay, those who died in plane accidents or motor accident, they generally come back with that particular memory up to the age of 4 or 5. It continues. After that, gradually the memory fades.
That's deja vu, I think so.
No,
No, no,
deja
no,
vu
no,
is
no,
different.
no,
Absolutely different. Deja vu you may also have, I may also have. But actually, in Indian term only there is a word jati short. But in English there is no particular term because they did not believe in the concept. There was no English word. Those who can remember their past incarnation. If you think this way, then you will see that death is exactly a kind of extension of this life. So people at that time will not be afraid. Like when you were a boy, you didn't have a beard, you didn't have a mustache. But today you have a beard, you have a mustache. Now, if you look for that particular body, where is that body which was given to me when I was 11 years of age. That body has died already. And medically also so. Doctors also say, according to the cell division and all these things, totally the body has changed as it were. And for that reason, at the time, you do not cry. That my boyhood is my boyhood is going to disappear, or my youth is going to disappear. You know very well these are the phases of life. In the same way, death is also another phase. Only problem is that you do not know what is happening there.
Yes.
That is
what the ignorance is.
yes, great ignorance.
Yes.
If you study nowadays, I'm not talking about religion only. Even if you study science, you will see a lot of questions are being addressed by the scientists, mainstream scientists. I'm talking about like doctors and others. So they are now handling this particular thing because they are saying that it's true. So many people have this experience that cannot be false. So let us just research. And they're going on doing this. Like even Alexander, one guy is there in America, is a neurosurgeon. He has a lot of videos on YouTube, you will see. Then many doctors are there. Their names you will find. If you just type in near-death experience
Yes.
research, you will find a host of links. You understand?
Yeah.
So then you know that it is simple death from 19, you are going to step into 20. That means your teenage is going to end. On your birthday, you can't cry. On your 18th, 19th birthday, do not cry. You are going to step into the 20th. And when you step into the 20th, then 18th, 19th over already, dead, and will never return. In that particular situation, you do not cry, you do not shed tears. But when there is the question of death, we feel very uncomfortable, we feel very hard. Many of us go into different mood swings when terminal diseases are diagnosed. But those of us who know, here common people will leave us. I'm talking about the monks, those who know, not suffer. Like, Loknath Brahmachari. He very willfully gave up his body. He talked to his own preceptor and told that then I have no more work now, so I'm giving you my body. And his preceptor told, yes, all right. It is somewhat like changing a shirt. He sat down to meditate, then after that he didn't come back into the body. These great people, if you follow their lifestyles, you see there is no fear, nothing at all, because they knew everything was a part of the game.
Even Thakur also said, like when Swamiji will come to know about himself,
Yes,
he will not
have
stay.
his body. That's right,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
So that is the origin of this subject matter. The Buddhists always believe in this. So this is the origin. All of you are talking about very coarse, very gross part of it, but in fact it has a subtlety to it, and that is the higher real. When you reach that real, intellectually at least, perceptually we cannot. Can I?
No.
Impossible. Intellectually we can. As intellectually I am discussing this. But if you ask about my heart doesn't feel this. To feel, the heart will have to go through a certain process, and that is called religious practice, the spiritual practices, sadhana. Through sadhana, we can reach that stage properly. Then we will see that there is no suffering.
That is what called transit, right? Transit.
Exactly. That's it.
Okay.
Mr. Shah,